Have you ever seen a guy complain about split ends? Yeah, I haven't either. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. This past week I got a message from a friend saying, can you please make a video on how to remove split ends with scissors? And I heard her loud and clear. In this video, we're not going to use products to disguise the look of split ends. I'm actually going to show you how you can trim your own hair very little so that you can extend the life of your haircut between visits to the salon. A split end happens when the hair shaft is so weak that it splits into one of 16 different ways. I had no idea there was that many. The most common one is when the hair goes like this and it splits like so. And then you just see little white freckles all around the ends of your hair. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to repair split ends. Once your hair splits, the only way to really get rid of it is to cut above the damage, which I know that a lot of you guys probably don't want to do that. But having said that, you can prevent the damage from happening in the first place so that you don't have to lose a lot of your length. Because of that, I'm going to split this video into two sections. In the very first section, I'm just going to show you how you can give yourself a quick trim so that you can extend the life of your haircuts between visits to the salon. And on the second part, I'm going to give you my personal favorite tips for how to prevent hair damage, and that way you don't have split ends at all. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Fernanda. I post videos every single Thursday at 11 a.m. and there's a button over here that you can click to subscribe. So thank you for joining us, and let's get started. Unfortunately, once you have split ends, there is no way to repair them. So if you ever see a product that is telling you to do that, unfortunately that's not true. It can disguise them or it can help it from getting even worse. But once the hair is split, there's no getting around it. The only way to fix it is that we have to cut above the damage. And I know that a lot of the times we don't want to lose a lot of length. So what I'm going to show you how to do is the at-home version of a technique called dusting. Dusting means that the hairdresser takes off as little as possible of the hair, usually about 1/8 of an inch, maybe even less than that, to just remove the damaged end and to not lose any of the length. This is actually very time consuming, which is why hairdressers a lot of times don't recommend that to you, but it can be done. And it's a great technique. So I'm just going to show you how to do that at home. So first things first, what you will need. You want to get yourself a really good pair of hair shears. And when I say good pair, I mean like good. They need to be sharp AF. Why? Because if they're not sharp, instead of actually slicing through the hair, all you're gonna do is just squeeze it and rip it, which is not going to solve the problem. It is just going to leave the end damaged and exposed and keep it fraying more and more. So in this case, I tried to find a pair of hair shears because I just did not have one at home. And honestly, the pharmacies in New York were scary. So what I use instead is the sharpest pair of scissors that I had not used before in my house that I could find, which was a pair of cuticle scissors. Now, if you care about your hair, if you have a lot of split ends, do not use a pair of any scissors. Just buy a pair on Amazon, wait for it to arrive, and then do this to your hair. Don't just grab any pair of scissors that you have around your house, please, because you're only going to make the problem worse. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're working on clean and newly styled hair. And particularly if your hair is a little on the straighter or wavier side, you want to straighten it as much as possible because that will help you see the shape and see the split ends a lot easier. If your hair is curly, definitely do not do this. In that case, you just want to let it air dry and define your curls as much as possible, which is going to make it a little bit trickier, but then you're going to go curl by curl. Once your hair is styled, you're going to start going off in sections. I just started going off little by little from the back to the front, and I started grabbing very, very thin sections of hair. You want to clamp them in one of two ways. The first way is to take your hand, 3 fingers of your hand, and you're going to do first finger on top, middle finger on the bottom, and third finger on top of the strand. And that way, when you poke it out, you can manipulate the hair a little bit, and the damaged strands will stick out of the full strand as much as possible, and you will be able to see them and trim them as you go. The other way that you can do this, and I don't recommend you necessarily do this if your hair is already very damaged, but you can grab a section of your hair and then very gently start twisting it. And what this will do is that most of your hairs will stick to this twist, but any damaged hairs will start sticking out from it. You'll be able to see it right away. You'll be able to very easily see them and trim around it. And then once you get to the end, fan out all the ends that you have, and then you can just trim the few that are damaged there. This is gonna take forever. Yes, it is. That's why we pay professionals, is because they can do it much faster than us, and because they can see the back of our hair much easier than we can. Take time. Maybe you don't need to do your entire head. Maybe you just need to do like the front sections that frame your face, and maybe like the bottom layer. And once you're done with that, you're good to go. Now, if you just went through the trouble of dusting your own hair, bless your heart, because I don't know that I would have had that much patience. But what I can tell you now is, now that your hair is looking a lot better and your ends are not damaged, I'm gonna give you my favorite tips on how to prevent split ends from happening in the first place. I used to have a lot of them, especially like if you look at some of my older videos, my ends were very, very thin, and my hair at the end was just so damaged. And over time, I had to learn how to take care of my hair properly so that it can grow a lot healthier and the ends look a lot better. So as I mentioned before, once the hair is broken, it's kind of like a nail. Once that nail is broken, you cannot repair it. You can grow it out again, but if the nail itself is very thin and very brittle, it's just gonna keep breaking over and over again. So there's a couple of things that you can do to prevent your hair from breaking a lot. And a lot of it is actually in the care for it. Some of it is product, but a lot of it is in just how you treat your own hair. So I'm gonna show you what I do to keep my hair looking as strong as possible for as long as possible. First of all, drying. I mentioned before in a different video that you should never wash your towels with your regular clothes because they are so rough that they cause a lot of pilling on your clothes. Guess what? The same thing goes for your hair. Those towels are so rough that if you're just using a regular towel for your hair, you're breaking it, you're damaging it, and you're weakening it every time you dry it. So what you'd want to do is get yourself a microfiber towel, or like a ShamWow works actually, or like something like that you buy at the drugstore, but it has to be something with a very flat weave. I will link to you guys to this one in the description box below. It doesn't have a lot of loops that your hair can get caught in and that it can be pulled on. So the way you do this is that you just essentially like pat your hair like so, and it absorbs water like crazy, which is great for two reasons. One, obviously it makes your hair dry a lot quicker without a lot of the friction from a towel or a lot of like friction from wind or whatever it is. But also, if you are the kind of person who uses a blow dryer, then your hair is dry a lot faster without you needing to add so much heat. The second thing that a lot of people don't realize is causing the most damage to their hair is in the way that they're brushing it. I'm gonna do a little demonstration. I'm gonna let my hair down so I can show you. I know that when you wanna brush your hair, your instinct is to start from the top and work your way to the bottom, but you don't wanna do that, because if your hair is A, very thin, or B, very brittle, which it probably is if you have split ends, then it's just causing it to knot a lot and to tangle so much that when you're running the hairbrush through it, instead of actually brushing out the knots, you're just ripping out the knots, causing, guess what? Split ends. So instead, we're gonna start from the bottom. This is something that they do at the salon, and I swear to God, it works, so please just apply it. You wanna grab your hair like that from the bottom and start brushing just the ends. And once you feel it completely smooth, then you go a little bit higher up and you keep smoothing. And you keep going, little by little. Essentially, your hair brushing should be entirely silent. You should not hear like rips or anything like that. It should just feel as smooth as possible. And if you do come across something that is a little knotted, you're just gonna work through it very gently. Gently. I cannot stress this enough. Gently. Until you get to the top. And by then, you know for a fact that the rest of your hair is brushed and tangle free, so you can then run it all the way down. And the next thing that causes a lot of damage to your hair, believe it or not, is your hair tie. Hair ties cause a lot of pressure on the hair already, and especially if you're pulling it out just like regularly like that, you're just pulling out as much as hair as possible, and you don't want to do that. It makes your hair very brittle. A better hair tie that you can get is one of these spiral ones. These are particularly good if you have curlier or wavier hair, but they are also very good for not damaging your hair, because instead of putting pressure on one particular place. The pressure is distributed evenly in zigzag way around your hair and in different places. So it's much better for your hair, and it doesn't leave dents or kinks or anything like that. And it also doesn't slide, which I really like. So this is kind of what it looks like. I know my hair looks crazy right now, so do not judge me. But here's the important part. When you're removing a hair tie, you never want to just pull it. You want to gently pull it apart, undo one loop, and then slide the whole loop. Again, don't pull it, because if you're tugging hair out, don't come crying to me if you have split ends at the end. And the other thing that really helps is to use a super soft scrunchie when you're sleeping. Because think about it, when you're sleeping, you have your hair on your pillow and you're tossing and turning, and all of that friction is just causing a lot of damage to your hair. So what I do, letting my hair down again, what I do is that before I go to bed, I just pull it all the way up like so. I don't care if it looks cute or not. And then I just do 2 loops and a top knot. And that way I'm sleeping on this, which if you notice, you see that? That is damaged and broken hair. Because of that's where I sleep. But at least the rest of my head is still looking healthy and protected. And then in the morning, I just undo it and my hair is fine for the most part. If you don't feel like doing that, another thing that you can do is get a silk pillowcase that will protect your hair a lot more. You can wear your hair in protective hairstyles at night. Obviously mine is not long enough to really do like a full-on French braid or like a braid, but that will be a great one. Or you can sleep in a bonnet. And lastly, I know that I told you that I wouldn't talk a lot about product, which is true, but I will say that your hair, just the same way as your skin, needs a lot of care. Your hair is receiving a lot of damage and stress from the sunshine, pollution, styling, the way you put it up, the way you sleep on it. And the same way that your skin needs nourishment and treatments and masks and constant care and all of that stuff, your hair needs it as well. So just make sure that you get yourself a hair mask from the drugstore, or you can, there's a ton of recipes online of what you can do to your hair to nourish it. Avocado is great for that. So look online what you can use and just give it a treatment every so often, every week, every other week or something like that. And it will help your hair stay strong much longer and also grow a lot stronger, which if you're trying to achieve length, this one is for you, my friend. I've literally like played with my hair so much, I don't even know how to end this video because I feel like my hair is all over the place. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with me till the end. If you did enjoy it or learn something new from it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and leave me a comment below. Let me know what your favorite hair care tip is, or if you have a good hair mask, please let me know in the comments below, because right now I'm looking for a new one since I ran out of my old one. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. There is a button over here that you can hit. And please don't forget to ring that bell if you want to be notified every time I post new videos. I'm here every single Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I will see you guys next week. Stay healthy. Bye. And that is going to be it. Buttercup. And that is going to be it for Buttercup. Tell you about the wonderful towel. Gucci, come here.